I already know what you're thinking. You haven't been successful on the PWBA tour. How do you know what it takes to win? What else could you be thinking? I think that's the main one, but... Take me to Candyland, ooh, take me to Candyland. Sweeter than sugar, you doing that dancing dance. This video is more so how I plan on being successful on the PWBA tour based on correcting my mistakes from the first round of events I bowled and what I notice in the women who are successful on tour from watching countless hours of Bowl TV and PWBA tour stops and what I saw when I was on tour. So, without further ado, let's talk about how one can be successful on the PWBA tour. I hope everybody brought their positive, I hope everybody brought their positive energy. While watching the PWBA Bowl TV Classic, I came up with this idea to make this video, and it wasn't supposed to be a video at first. Like, I just started writing down things I was noticing subconsciously. Like, this wasn't even a thought. These are just my thoughts and observations I got while watching the tournament. And it made me reflect on the few events I had bowled last season. I think I bowled 3 events. And it made me think, what are these women doing that I wasn't doing out there? And my time out there, I was so anxious the whole time and pressed. I think that's the best way I can describe it, is I felt just pressed constantly. And it was my rookie season, so the whole time, one of my goals was Rookie of the Year, which I didn't cash a single time in my time on tour, okay? I acknowledge that. I understand that's what's going through your head. Why the heck are you making this video? But I was pressed, I was anxious, I was results oriented. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I think it's part of having an audience of a larger size through YouTube and just people who think you can accomplish a lot of things, which is a great thing to have if you use it in the right way. And I wasn't. And I just wrote down about 5 to 6 things that I think you need to do to be successful on tour. So let's get into it. Number 1, look at the external factors with no judgment. Focus on the sole task of making one great shot at a time. And the external factors that I am referring to could be noises in the crowd. A big one for me was not feeling like I had the attention from a ball rep that I needed, but that wasn't the case at all. I had the attention of the ball reps. I didn't go out and make the first move, so to speak. And once I started doing that, it got a lot better, but that's an advantage. It's not a necessity. And another external factor could be results or scores, which was a huge one for me. Oh my gosh. I remember, I think the first event I bowled, I shot 240 the first game, and I looked at the scores. Not on purpose, it was playing on one of the TVs beside my pair. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in 3rd. 1 game out of 12 qualifying games, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. And I just use that as such a negative factor, which is crazy. But that's what I mean, results, scores, oriented. It doesn't work. Oops. You know, if you're going into a match like, oh my gosh, I need to win this match. This is a huge match. I need to do it. More times than not, you're not going to do it. not if you have that perspective. And not even just in match play, in qualifying, if you're pressed, the universe knows you're pressed. You're not fooling anybody. And even if you deep down have that belief, like, I'm pressed, but I can do this, it's not gonna work. It's not going to work. And maybe the best of the best can get to a spot like, okay, I know I need a pretty good game. I'm just gonna make one shot at a time. Totally different. You're not trying to force the ball to strike every shot. If you're doing that, the ball's gonna win every time. I promise you. And yeah, this is number one because it was number one for me when I was out there, and I recognized it, but I didn't fully learn how to make it better. And, you know, so look at the external factors with no judgment. That's the most positive way I can word that. And this is relevant to everybody, not just at the PWBA level, professional level, but anytime, you know, if you're in league and you need to step up and strike in the 10th to win, the best case scenario is you're getting up there, you're feeling loose, you're confident, but all you're trying to do is make a great shot. And that should be the same every single time. And that leads me to the next point. Don't let I said I was not using negative connotations, and this sentence starts with don't. Something I tried to do in these as well is not use negative connotations, like don't press. Don't let the highs be too high and the lows be too low. So in a positive reinforcing statement, stay even keeled? Peeled? I don't know how that... Even keeled with a K, characterized by stability or consistency. Thank you, Merriam-Webster. Stay even. Stay even. We're not trying to have a roller coaster ride of a block every single time. We're trying to stay even. And that's more so a feeling, but it's also goes with your thoughts, because, you know, you make a great shot, stone 8. If you're super mad and focused on, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just left an 8 pin, it's not fair, blah, blah, me, your next shot is probably going to be a big 4, as opposed to, okay, that was a good shot, I just need to put that on line again, and the pins will fall when they fall. And you flush the next shot. You see what I mean? I know we've all been there. We've all been there. Or it's like, oh my gosh, stone 8 again. Next shot, you're probably gonna stone 8. You know? We determine our own outcomes a lot of the times. And I would be much happier with missing a cut by 10 pins, knowing I stayed present and focused and made 10 great shots, as opposed to missing a 10 pin because I was pressed, you know? Okay, and as subpoints to this point, I wrote that staying even with your emotions will eliminate pressure in pressure situations. And of course, that's not totally true. More so what I meant is the pressure you put upon yourself will be eliminated if you're just staying in your process of, let's make another great shot, stay present, those things, as opposed to feeling that overwhelming feeling of pressure that I seem to have felt every event I bowled. And it also allows clarity mentally to watch and understand what the ball and the lane are doing. Because again, if you, I don't know, flat 10 and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what a bad break, then you might not actually be focusing on the fact of, oh, my ball read too early and didn't have enough energy down lane to go through the pins properly. Wasn't a bad break, you probably just need to change something. And that's something that when we're in our heads and feeling sorry for ourselves, that we can miss sometimes because we're just results oriented, not focused on the process, your ball going down the lane, through the pins, off the pin deck, what the ball's actually doing. The next point, number 3, was stay curious always. And that flows off the previous point perfectly. This is something I heard from our Team Canada coach that Verity Crawley says often. She's on the PWBA tour. If you're unfamiliar, she has the smoothest game in the PWBA, in my opinion. You gotta just go look her up, watch her throw a bowling ball. It is beautiful. And she's also one of the most mentally strong people I know. She is just a guru. She's great. Anyways, stay curious. Falls off the previous point of, oh my gosh, I stone 9-pinned, I flat 10'd, I wrap 10'd. Stay curious. Why did that happen? Was it a great shot and a bad break, or can I make a little adjustment to get my ball down the lane a bit further, or hooking a bit later? You know, just why did it happen? Stay curious. Why? And I don't mean, why did I just leave that? Why didn't that carry? Why? There's a positive and a negative way of doing it, and you have to do it in a positive way. And that's so easy to know if you're doing it in a positive or negative way. Just be honest with yourself. Am I being non-judgmental and positive about this, or am I crying myself a river and spiraling? You know, when I say positive, anything that's non-judgmental and even in my head is positive, because you're doing yourself a favor by being non-judgmental and not allowing those negative thoughts to be negative. And I also saw in Verity Crawley's Instagram page, she has a separate message stream that you can join for free. And she posts motivational and inspiring things in there, as well as polls regarding bowling and whatnot. Shout out to Verity. I think she's amazing. She said, notice when you have a negative thought and allow it to leave, kind of thing. I'm gonna put it here because I probably botched that, but what I got from that is recognize when you're having this negative thought, sit with it for a minute, say, okay, that's negative, and then disregard it, acknowledge it, allow it its space over here, and look the other way, kind of thing. Because acknowledging them isn't a bad thing. Acknowledging them is great, because you notice this is negative. This is not what I'm allowing in my space. And then since you've acknowledged it, it's not just sitting over your shoulder. You've dealt with it, and then you can move on. And then the last one is really, not the last one, I have a couple more after this. This is really based off of my experiences, and I wrote, be light, have fun, and clap for yourself. And breaking that down, being light still goes off of the non-judgmental, positive point I had made, because if you're pressed and you're really wanting something really badly and you just keep thinking about that and what you need to do to get there, you know, it's exhausting. Like, you're gonna wear yourself out. You're not gonna allow yourself to succeed what you want to succeed in. And have fun. Again, stop pressing. Have fun with it. Enjoy your time, because whether you're on the PWBA or at a tournament, you're probably surrounded by some people you like, maybe not, but you're doing what you love. You're allowing yourself a chance to win, and that's really all you can do. These moments are short-lived, so have fun with them, enjoy them. And the last one, clap for yourself, because I was out there alone for the most part. I had my family watch the Florida stop, which was my first event. You have to be your biggest fan, especially out there. people refer to it as the lion's den. It's not that serious. You need to be your biggest fan and clap for yourself. You can't rely on somebody else to do that for you, because that's just another thing to be upset about when it doesn't happen. Because it's very unlikely you're gonna have somebody whose support can mean more to you than yourself. And then the last thing I wish I would have done differently on tour is make friends. And I was lucky to be out there with Felicia Wong for the most part, who is a great friend, and I really value our time together. And the conversations we have are just really meaningful, and I love that. Or so with other competitors, because then it changes your perspective on them and makes you feel a bit more comfortable in the space, and I think that's very important. So maybe that's just more so a personal one, but making friends out there. And I think that's all I got for now. I just thought I would hop on here and share this because these are more so notes I made for myself and how I plan on succeeding on tour. But I hope you got something out of this video, whether it's just for your league bowling or tournament play, or maybe in a completely other sport. I don't know. I think these are applicable in all aspects of life and are very important things. Yeah, if you have anything to add, please feel free to add it in the comments, get a conversation started in there, and just be nice. Okay. Bye.